So today on Simply Happy Conversations, I have with me Jane from Zing Home. She is a professional organiser and she loves helping people to simplify their lives and organise their things. And she's really passionate also about reducing food waste and waste in general, which you'll see a lot with professional organisers. So welcome, Jane.
Hi, Narelle, how are you?
Oh, good, thank you. It's so great to have you on the podcast.
Yes.
So share with us then some things that you like to do in your free time.
So I live in Sydney and we're surrounded by some lovely, lovely water. So the thing that's been keeping me busy when I'm not working is rowing. So You'll see me in the early mornings, coffee fueled, going out on the water and trying to stay on top of the water in rowing and go fast.
Oh, wow. That's so funny. My husband, right at this, as we speak right now, has gone out. He's paddling in his kayak. He's training for the Murray Marathon. So by the time this actually goes live, he'll have done the Murray Marathon. So 5 days. But yes,
yeah, I
can
saw
understand.
some socials of him, you dropping him off and then driving on and catching up. That's amazing. Yeah. No, it's so good for your mental health, that sort of rhythmic stuff. And then looking at nature, it really helps, not just with, keeping your muscles, but also just mentally, it's lovely. It's very, very calming.
Yeah, I went down to take some photos of him for his fundraising page. It was like 5:30 in the morning. It was in the middle of January, so it was quite light, but it was beautiful down there. It was really still. You could just hear the birds.
Yes.
I was like, this is really mindful, but he's not really into mindfulness. But I was like, this is a really relaxing activity. Yeah.
I don't know. And sometimes you get these lovely things without even noticing that you're absorbing this lovely mindfulness. You're just in it. It's lovely.
So is this on a river nearby, or is it in the ocean?
Oh, Sydney, yes, definitely on the harbour. So the inner harbour where it's calm, but it's Sydney's really got a lot of coastline, harbour side. So there's lots of rowing clubs, different spots, and we've got our own little niche, and it's great. I highly recommend when you're a woman in middle age, something you can do till you're 80 or so, or even longer. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. That's why he's gone into it. So just with too many injuries from running and things. So yeah, it's great to have something that you can do for the rest of your life.
Yes. That's important. Yes. So sport's really important.
It is.
Yeah, keeping your muscles, keeping a bit of muscle tone when you're getting into middle age is, I think, one of my passions.
Yeah. So tell us about how and why you got into professional organising.
Well, I believe you're kind of born an organiser. So I've been organising since I was little, and I look back at my childhood, and I reckon my mother was a bit of a hippie, and it was all very free and easy. And it's I think when you're the child of that, and you're not really a hippie yourself so much, you sort of want things organised. So I was trying to organise my mother from when I was little. I did the thing, I went to school, went to uni, got the corporate job, did that, had kids, and then 2 years ago made redundant. And I thought, oh gosh, and it's so hard to get another corporate job. When you're a certain age. And so I thought, I'm just gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give a red hot go. There was lots of support when in that sort of middle COVID time. So my business came out just after the first lockdown, and I've been doing it ever since, and it's been just great.
What do you love about it? What is it that you love about it?
I love helping people. I just love it. And there's so many people who need just a bit of help. I work with NDIS clients, and they're just so lovely. I really enjoy working with people who are maybe downsizing. So if they need that help because honestly, less is better. It really is. You can live a better life with a bit of less. That's what I think.
Oh, definitely. So yourself, have you downsized yourself?
No. So I can preach it, but I've lived in the same house for like 27 years. But it's like an ongoing thing. I honestly, downsizing and decluttering is something you do if you can, over a long period of time. It's an ongoing thing. You don't stop doing it.
No, it is, isn't it? But I think that some people get in that mindset that you just do it the once and then it'll stay, but it doesn't, does it?
No, because everything's screaming at you to buy new stuff. It's terrible. You know,
Yeah,
the consumer, we can't sustain this level of material stuff, I think, but everyone to their own level.
Yeah, definitely. So then tell us about the work you do and how it's helping. It can help people to simplify their life.
So I had a lovely lady yesterday who's got a toddler and too many toys. Her living areas, you know, she's got the family who've given her stuff, her Christmas, post-Christmas, post-birthday, and this kid's having a nice time, but he's overwhelmed. He's sitting in the middle of this huge, like a toy shop. Yeah. And so it's hard for him to decide, and it's very hard for her to do the two steps. You know, first she has to pack it all up and tidy, and then to clean, and she's just getting completely overwhelmed with doing both those things. So we spent 4 hours just going through all the toys. She's just decided that she's not going to have another child, so all the baby stuff can go. So she's donated. My car is full of baby stuff that she just doesn't need. She knows this, and the toddler was having the best time. Things were going away, and what was left was stuff that he's really into at the moment, and another half of stuff's gone in under the cupboard, under the stairs, to be rotated. Toy rotation is great for small kids because they don't really remember. And so, you know, every 2 months you can get out brand new toys for them that they don't remember and put away the ones that they may be sick of, but not to have too many out at once.
Yeah, it makes such a difference, doesn't it? But then even the, you know, something new, which has just been in a cupboard. I know my own kids
in the cupboard.
Over the summer, I was like, right, we need to get rid of some of the stuff. And not that they even got, you know, Christmas presents, they're a lot older. Still, I was surprised at when I got the baby toys out and I was like, we need to get rid of more of this. We don't have room. We've got so many games. They started playing with it. It's like new. Oh, we haven't had this out for so long. So yeah, I love toy rotation works really well, doesn't it, with families.
Yes.
And then what about helping to pack away? Is he not at the age to have helping pack away? Is he like walking around?
Walking around. He's about 3, and he was great. Okay. He was getting a dustpan and brush out. He was sweeping up. So cute. But it's great. I mean, you've got to understand they can't read. So if you're going to have boxes for specific things, it's great to have a picture on the outside. And it is actually great to start them early, because if they've got that foundational thing of we pack up, and childcare and preschool teaches those sort of skills as well. If you can reinforce it at home, you might have a lifelong packer-upper, which when they get to be teenagers, they're not real keen on.
No, not at all.
Suffering is real with teenagers, but you never know. You know, it's great to start early.
And what a great process for the child to have observed with you and the mother yesterday as well. I think that's amazing, starting really young at teaching them to declutter and remove the excess, but be part of the process rather than just coming home from, say, daycare or kinder and where's all the toys? So actually seeing it and being part of it is so important, isn't it?
Yes, particularly for older children who can remember. They don't like that it's changed completely when they get home from school, and where's my stuff? It can be quite brutal, and you know, it could have ramifications later if mum's cleaned out every, you know, much loved things without having them involved. It can be really hard on them, and I would never suggest that. Get the child involved.
Definitely. It's a skill for them to learn later in life. So then share with us, because you're very passionate about waste and the amount of things that we're throwing out and food waste. So do you have some top tips around food waste in our homes then?
I do. I have a little cheat sheet down here. So I think meal planning is just terrific. If you've got a rough, it doesn't have to be particularly detailed. Just do a quick one. Just have an idea of what you're going to cook, and then you can shop. I mean, there's a lot of support with New South Wales state government have these lists you can get, which like a pro forma that you can fill in what you think you might be buying and planning. So that's a really good one. Store things well. So you can Google how to store vegetables so that they stay nice for longer. And there's some fabulous people who will help with maybe even pickling things that are a little bit past their best. That's a great way to use up vegetables that are a little bit wonky. Pickling. And I do love pickling and pickled stuff. I love to buy pickled stuff, gherkins and all those sort of sauerkraut, because I also love gut health. I'm really interested in how that can affect your whole body. It's gone from being, hippie to mainstream now, this supporting your guts. I've just learnt from a client about virtual pantries. So if you have bought something possibly in the pandemic, bought something as a pandemic buy and you've never used it, and even if it's either very close to use by or maybe a little bit past its best before, you can put things up on Facebook groups for your area where you can gift it to someone else, and someone else might be really grateful for that weird thing that you bought that you never ended up using. So I highly recommend a virtual pantry.
That's a great idea. I've never heard of it.
A client told me about it and I was like, whoa. And then so easy. Facebook is great for that.
But definitely, I've done a lot of pantries over the past 6 months, and I find the same thing. They're like, what about this? No, I just bought it just in case at the start of the pandemic, in case we couldn't get anything. But no, I'm never going to use that now. And so, I mean, I've taken them to some of our supermarkets here, have their, boxes for donations, and I've usually dropped them off there, or a local pantry as well. Yes. But I like that idea of the virtual Facebook groups as well.
Yes. And virtual Facebook pay it forward groups, buy nothing groups are terrific, and they're great for professional organisers too, because we are given a lot of stuff that we have decluttered, and we want to give it to someone who really will appreciate it, because usually the client wants it given away. And opportunity shops, they're swamped.
Yes.
And don't want it. So our usual places where we would donate stuff is hard. So Facebook, because it can be very local, is a terrific place. So Google, on your Facebook, in the question, the search, pop pay it forward, buy nothing groups. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, I've joined a couple of the pay nothing groups in our local area, just to be able to share, because some of my clients will be like, this is a really great, pair of shoes. I want them to go to someone who might really need them. So I've started using that as well, just to help them out as well. And
they're really good.
Yeah.
The other things I would suggest is definitely shop your kitchen. So when you're thinking of what you might be planning, and you can plan it 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not like you have to do it first thing in the morning, or sometimes, you just do it when you can. Shop your own kitchen and have a look and go, I've got this ingredient. What could I do with it? And obviously the internet lets you put an ingredient in, and you can find a dish that you also might have something that will work for you. I used to work for an olive oil company, and we talked a lot about best befores versus use by dates. So I got involved in how to tell whether an olive oil was good enough to still use. So a use by date is a bit more strict, and I'd be quite strict on following a use by date. Often that is the best time to use it. If it's past that, it's probably not very good. But the best before is kind of a guideline. So, your sense of smell and your taste is the best really guide to whether something's gone off. And some things go off before their best before, and some things go off after. So I think you've got a bit of leeway with best before. Salt's got to have a use by date on it. It's ridiculous. Salt doesn't really go off.
Yeah.
it's a bit silly. So you've got to use a bit of common sense or Googling to really decide whether something should be thrown in the bin or not.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to throw things in the bin, and if it's vegetable matter or something that's organic, you can compost it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go to landfill. It can go into your garden or someone else's garden. There are groups that will pick up your food waste and take it to their gardens, which is fabulous. So there's lots of ways you can reduce what goes into landfill. I've just started composting old cotton waste. So if it's an organic fibre, because I'm given a lot of organic fibres and mixed fibres, but my compost is now got quite a lot of old pillowcases and towels that are just not used. They're not, I can't take them anywhere where they'll be useful, but they are being useful in my garden for the worms.
Yeah, that's a great tip as well.
Yeah.
I love the so what about vanilla essence that's been made, homemade vanilla essence? We found one this week and it was 2005 and opened it. It smelled amazing. And I was like, well, it's just vodka and vanilla essence. It can't go off.
It is vodka.
It's fine. It's actually like really, really precious because this is how old, 15 years old. It was amazing. So yes, she kept it.
Yeah, you've got to really think about it. That's a really interesting one. Yes. And vanilla is so expensive. It really is per little bit. So that's wonderful.
I think she had like maybe 10 pieces of vanilla in this jar. Yeah, it was a great find. It was right up the top. And she was like, oh yeah, I remember putting it now when it was dark to keep it safe. And I'm like, it's perfect now. So it's down low so she can use it now.
Yes. Shop your own pantry. Have a look. Look in the nooks and crannies for what you can find. That's a good one. Yeah. So, there's lots you can do. And the internet's been great for making those sort of things available. And, in COVID, there's been so many webinars about this. Your local council, my local council, other local councils around have offered lots of experts broadcasting on webinars about these sort of subjects. So YouTube's a great resource for finding how to do stuff like that. You just got to look for it.
Oh, definitely. I know our library's been promoting a lot of this lately as well, which is great. And just to go online, you don't even have to go to the actual library. So really anyone in the world could be watching this webinar from our local library on food waste and reducing our footprint on the world.
Absolutely.
Oh, Jane, thank you so much for those tips, and especially those tips that you've just shared around reducing our food waste. How can people connect with you and find you?
So I'm on Facebook, Insta, and Twitter, and I've got my website. If you just search for Zing Home Organising, so Zing as in, zingy, and I'm on the socials. I'm not on TikTok though. I don't know if that's where my clients live.
No, neither am I. Oh, thank you so much for your time, Jane. It's great to have caught up with you. You have one last thing?
Tip.
Oh, yes, please.
When you've got leftovers in your fridge, pop it in quite a big container so that it's right front and centre and you can't lose it at the back. Put it in a big container. That's leftovers in your fridge.
That's a great tip because that does happen. There's a little container right up the very back in most clients' houses, in my own, whereas, put it in a big container. It's not going to get lost. Oh, thank you so much, Jane. And we'll catch up soon.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.